Descriptive versus narrative writing. A narrative writing is a piece of writing that tells one person's perspective on a story, experience, or idea. Within the word narrative comes the word narration. A narrative writing is a piece of narration. A descriptive writing is talking about a person or experience from an outside perspective. Usually this is an outside perspective. It does not mean that it has to be, but when you write descriptively, you use a lot of adjectives and adverbs to help you describe your person or your experience. Descriptive writing. Descriptive writing should contain figurative language and significant descriptions using adjectives and adverbs. Well, of course, we use figurative language. It would be asking things like similes, metaphors, and personification, and it would be asking for them in your writing. Adjectives and adverbs means that you're describing the use of words, nouns, phrases, and you're using those adjectives to describe them and give full meaning behind what you write. The reason why we write descriptive essays is to make our readers see, hear, feel, smell, and almost taste what we as a writer have felt, seen, smelt, heard, or tasted. Descriptive essays let our readers have the emotions, the feeling, the senses that they could almost feel like they're there. Have you ever read a book and felt connected? Felt almost as if you're engrossed within that novel or that piece of writing? They've descriptively captured your imagination and captured your mind. That's exactly what a descriptive essay should do for you. And it should also do that for your reader. Descriptive writing is how we express our emotions, feelings, and senses to our readers. The reader should have a sense of your inner thoughts, or if this is not a personal thought process, they should have the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of who or what you're describing, if you are actually talking about your opinion. If you are taking an outside perspective on an experience or a person, your feelings about this person or experience should be felt through your writing. You should express this through your words, through the adjectives and the adverbs that you use. When it comes to descriptive writing, you need to use figurative language to convey meaning. If I just said, the dog was black, how many dogs have you seen that were black? Probably too many to count. So what does that dog matter to you? But if I talked about the black dog with an underbite that made it seem as if he were growling at you with every glance and look, maybe you'd start to understand a little bit more. This is a black dog. It's got an underbite, and it almost appears to be growling. Well, I've said so much more than the black dog. And then metaphors, similes, personification. When we use similes and metaphors and personification, we're comparing things. We're giving inanimate objects human-like qualities, and we're making our paper and our writing come to life. Similes are a comparison of two unlike things using the words like or as. Here's an example for talking about a person. Her eyes sparkled like the stars in the sky. Because of the word like here, it creates a simile. Another way to use a simile, using like or as. If you were talking about an experience, you could say, my heart throbbed like a young cheetah running through the wilderness. Use the word like or as. Similes will always have the words like or as a part of the sentence. If it does not have like or as, it's what we call a metaphor. A metaphor is a comparison of two unlike things, not using the word like or as. So an example, her eyes shone with the intensity of the sun. Nowhere in here do I use like or as, but I talk about her eyes and I compare them to the sun. This gives the reader a greater sense of what truly was happening in her eyes. Or you could say her eyes were green with the feelings of the Irish countryside. No using like or as. Personification. Personification is giving human-like qualities to non-human or inanimate objects. The pizza called out to me that I needed to eat it quickly. Well, pizza can't call. So thinking about personification, the chair got up and walked around. The chair can't do that. Anything that physically cannot do that or cannot act like a human? If you give it that quality, it's considered personification. Make sure in a descriptive writing that you use your senses. The biggest part of a descriptive writing is grabbing that reader's attention by using words that will hit home with their senses, getting them pulled in, making them want to read more. Have you ever smelt the rain? Well, what does it smell like? What's the sense that goes through your head? What physically are you feeling at that moment in time? Have you seen the most amazing waterfall? How does that make you feel? What ways could you say it so someone felt like they were there with you? Were there any touch or taste or smells that went along with being by the waterfall? How about hearing the rain on your windows as you sleep? The pitter-patter, the clang-clang, the sounds, the noises. How it makes you feel, the mood, the tone, all of that creates ideas for your senses. What about when you take that first bite of your favorite food? I know when I bite into that Chipotle burrito, I am ready for more. I just want to keep eating because it's so good. And I just, more than saying so good, how would I describe that burrito? I might talk about the lime, the cilantro, and the guacamole, and everything that's combined in that burrito to make it amazing to me. I might also talk about the way that I would be completely stuffed after eating it. Your readers have gone through many of the same life experiences as you. Now, they might not all be the same, but there are things that we can relate to each other. Touch on those experiences and grab their attention. That's what's going to help you with your descriptive writing. Tell the reader what you were thinking if this isn't about an experience. Grab their attention. What were your thoughts? What insight can you give about this experience or this person? And evoke the senses and leave the reader with a clear impression of what just happened. What should they be thinking walking away from your paper? What would make them want to read more? So evoke the senses: hearing, smell, sight, taste, sound, touch. Get the senses alive for that reader, and that's really going to help with your description. On the other hand, you have descriptive writing and then you have narrative writing. Narrative writing is a writing that tells a story, whether it's true or false. Narrative writing can be personal, it can be biographical, and it might be personal. So meaning it might be true, it might be, I have personal on here twice, but either way, a narrative writing is either about you, whether it's true or it's false. It tells a life story. Narrative is a narrative account or story. Someone has to tell the story to make it a narration. Most likely in a narrative writing, it will likely have an anecdote, an experience, or personal storyline to your narration. Meaning, anecdote, cause, effect, and likely with an anecdote, it's somewhat funny. The experience, or it's a personal story that you want people to know. But one thing that you want to make sure that you have with your narrative writing is that it always makes a point. These different ideas in your writing help allow for your own creativity in your writing and grabbing the reader's attention. So if you make something funny, you talk about your own life, or you include a personal story that maybe is not true, but gets your point across, all of these can help grab the reader's attention. Clear and concise language. In your writing, make sure that you use clear and concise language, meaning you're organizing it, it's there for a specific reason, and it's not just as a filler sentence. When you use clear and concise language, you're going to use specific language, such as figurative language, to help evoke specific emotions and senses in your reader. By using specific language, it helps with your figurative language, and it also helps get your point across. If you're wondering more about conciseness, please visit the Purdue OWL website at http://owl.english.purdue.edu/572/1/. Make sure that for any writing that you do, you use clear and concise language. It doesn't ramble, and it makes sense why it's present in your paper. Organization is always a big part in your writing, whether you're writing a descriptive or you're writing a narrative. Make sure that you have a format of organization and you stick to it. If you create an outline, adhere to your outline. If you decide this is what this paragraph is about, it needs to stay that way. In the sense that if you start a paragraph, you have to finish it. Organization can keep a story from rambling and letting the reader feel like, what just happened at the very end? Why did I read this? When it comes down to it, descriptive versus narrative, there are a few key ideas to keep in mind. Descriptive writing is all about the descriptions. It's about adjectives, adverbs, and figurative language that the writer uses. And it's not to say that narrative writing is not, but narrative writing is all about the story or experience that comes from the voice of the storyteller. Narrative writing is about telling that story. Descriptive writing is about evoking the senses and creating a description that just evokes the readers want to read more. To keep in mind about good traits of writing, think about the 6 traits of writing. Well, how do you tell if writing is good or not? Is it fun to read? Does it keep you interested? Is it well organized? The 6 traits of effective writing are the key characteristics for good writing. Most of the time, if you've read a novel and you really enjoyed it, it's because it followed the 6 traits of writing for you. Ideas. Good writing has clear ideas, a purpose, or focus. It should have specific ideas and details, meaning it's not just all free-written, it's got a point behind it. Organization. Writing should have a beginning, middle, and an ending and be well organized and easy to follow. If it's not easy to follow, most time people get lost, confused, and just wonder, why was this written? What was the point of this? Voice. Your writing should connect with your audience, fit your purpose for writing, and reveal your voice. Meaning, is it the speaker's voice? Is it your voice as a writer? You want to make sure that no matter what, your voice is exemplified throughout your paper. Word choice. Word choice is number 4 on the 6 traits of writing. Word choice means good writing has specific nouns and verbs and strong words that deliver the writer's message. Sentence fluency. Sentences should vary in length, meaning some are simple, some are complex, some are compound complex, and there should be a variety of sentence beginnings. Not, I saw, I did see, I saw again. All of those would just be reiterating exactly what you had just said. The writing should flow smoothly from sentence to sentence, and you should have a variety of sentences. And then lastly, conventions. Strong writing is edited for grammar, punctuation, capitalization, and spelling, of course, so the writer's ideas are easily understood and someone doesn't need to try to comprehend what was being said. So now it's your turn. Using some of the great ideas expressed here, turn your writing into something that excites the reader and makes them want to read more. Great writing comes with practice, organization, and ideas that all flow together to make a great paper.